Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome back to Lodi Audiobooks. With this channel, I hope to revive significant Islamic books for people all around the world, bridging the gap between spiritual knowledge, and the English speaking world. The purpose is making the wealth of Islamic literature accessible to minds worldwide. Let's explore together, learn, and have a great time soaking in the beauty of Islamic teachings. Don't forget to press that subscribe button and let's embark on this journey of understanding and connection, bringing the wisdom of Islamic literature to friends all around the globe. So, once again, let's begin. We will start the book Al-Qushayri, Epistle of Sufism. So, I will continue this book from author's introduction. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Praise be to God, who has no rival in the greatness of his sovereignty, who is unique in the splendor of his might, who is dignified in the supremacy of his oneness, who is made holy by the exaltation of his eternity, to whose magnitude of essence there is no likeness or challenger, and who is elevated in his attributes above any limitation or deficiency. His are the attributes that pertain to none but him alone, and his are the signs that testify that he is not similar to his creatures. Blessed is he, the possessor of the highest dignity. There is no boundary to encircle him, no device to entrap him, no time to confine him. No one can be his helper. There can be no offspring next to him, no number to count him, no place to contain him, no time period to embrace him, no understanding to measure him, and no imagination to picture him. Far removed is he from such questions as how is he, where is he, or statements such as through his creation he has acquired beauty, or through his actions he removed from himself imperfection and deficiency. For nothing is like unto him. He is the hearing, the seeing. No living thing can overcome him. Omniscient is he and omnipotent. I praise him for what he possesses and what he produces. I thank him for what he withholds and what he bestows. I place my trust in him and am satisfied with him. I am content with what he gives and what he does not give. I testify that there is no deity but God and that he has no partners. This is the testimony of the one who has absolute confidence in his uniqueness and the one who seeks to secure his assistance. I also testify that our Lord Muhammad is his elected servant and his handpicked trustee, and that he is God's messenger to all his creatures. May God bless him and his family, who shine like lights in the darkness. May God bless his companions, who are the key to the true guidance. And may God greet them all with numerous greetings. This is an epistle that the poor one in need of God Most High, Abdul Karim bin Khwazin al-Qushayri, has addressed to all the Sufi community in the land of Islam in the year 437. And now to the main topic. May God be pleased with you. God has made this community His friends of choice and placed them above the rest of His servants. And immediately after His messengers and prophets, may God bless and greet them, He has rendered the hearts of the Sufis repositories of His mysteries and marked them off from the other members of His community by His resplendent light. They are the saviors of all other creatures who in each and every state of theirs remain with God and through God. He has cleansed them of the turbidity of human nature and elevated them through the realities of His oneness that were revealed to them, to the vantages from which they contemplate God, and He has granted them success in acquiring the good manners in serving their God, and He has given them insights into the working of the decrees dispensed by their Lord. In this way, they have become capable of fulfilling all the obligations imposed upon them by God and realized in the most perfect manner all His dispensations in their regard. Then they return to God. May He be glorified and exalted. Through the sincerity of their need of God and in the state of humility, they refused to rely on the good works they had done or on the pure spiritual states that had been bestowed upon them. For they knew that God, may He be great and elevated, does what He wishes and selects any one of His servants He wants. While His creatures cannot pass judgments on Him, nor can any creature have any right against Him. His award is the beginning of all beneficence, His punishment is the just verdict, and His command is the final judgment. No, may God show mercy to you that the majority of those true Sufis have become extinct, and in our age nothing is left of them but their traces, as a poet put it. As for the tents, they look like their tents. And yet I see that the women of the tribe are not the ones who used to live in them. This Sufi path has been overcome by weakness. Nay, the path has in fact completely disappeared. Gone are the Sufi elders in whom one could find guidance. Few are the young men whose exemplary deeds and customs deserve to be emulated. Scrupulosity has disappeared from this world and rolled up its prayer rug, whereas greed has gained strength and tightened its stranglehold. Respect for the divine law has departed from the hearts of men, and they have chosen the neglect of religion as their sport and rejected the difference between the permissible and the forbidden. They have made disrespect and shamelessness their religion. They have set no store in the devotional acts and become remiss in fasting and praying. They have galloped around in the field of neglectfulness and leaned toward those who blindly follow their lusts. They have thought little about committing sinful deeds. At the same time, they have availed themselves freely of the things they borrow from the commoners, women, and rulers. However, they are not satisfied with indulging in all these evil deeds. They have begun to refer to the highest divine mysteries and mystical states, and to claim that they have freed themselves from the bondage of servility and attained the realities of divine union. They also claim that they reside in God, who rules over them with his decrees, and that they have become completely obliterated in him. Therefore, God cannot condemn or blame them for what they do and what they do not do. They have also claimed that the mysteries of divine oneness are unveiled to them, that their souls are taken away from them completely unto God, and they and that they have lost the properties of their human natures. After having been completely annihilated in God, they have found themselves in the presence of God's eternal light. Therefore, when they speak, it is someone else who speaks on their behalf, and when they act, it is someone else who performs their act for them, or rather, they are caused to act by someone else. Although in this age of ours we have suffered a lot from this affliction, some of which I have just shown, I have restrained my tongue from lengthy condemnations. I have done this out of concern for the Sufi path, for one should not speak ill of its people, one should not give their opponents a cause to condemn them. Since in this country, the suffering of this path at the hands of its opponents and accusers has been particularly severe, I do hope that the cause of this weakness will be removed, and God, glory be to him, in his graciousness, will warn those who have strayed from the Prophet's exemplary custom by abandoning the good manners of this path. Since our age keeps bringing only more and more difficulties, and majority of our compatriots continue to stubbornly adhere to their corrupt ways and to blindly persist in their delusions, I have begun to fear that the hearts of men might think that this whole affair from the very beginning rested upon all those faulty foundations, and that its early adherents followed the same corrupt habits. So I have composed this epistle for you. May God generously reward you. In it I have mentioned the lives of the masters of this path, their good manners, their high morals, their relationships with one another, their beliefs that they hold in their hearts, as well as their ecstatic states they allude to, and the characteristics of their spiritual ascent from the beginning to the end. In this way, this epistle would give strength to the followers of this path and make you testify that my presentation is correct. As for me, in spreading these laments, I shall have a diversion, and from the generous God a favor and reward. So I seek God's help in what I am about to mention, and ask Him to protect and defend me from errors in this understanding. I plead to God for forgiveness and pardon He alone deserves praise and He alone is capable of everything. A chapter explaining the beliefs of the Sufis concerning the fundamentals of religion. Know, may God have mercy on you, that the elders of this path built the foundations of their affair upon the sound fundamental principles of God's oneness. In this way, they protected their beliefs from reprehensible innovations and tried to bring themselves closer to the ways of the pious forefathers and the followers of the Prophet's Sunnah, namely the doctrine of God's oneness, the content that contained neither likening nor striving. They knew well the true nature of God's eternity and realized fully how an existent entity emerges from non-existence. It is this issue that the great master of this path, Al-Junayd, may God have mercy on him, mentioned when he said, "The true doctrine of oneness consists in separating the eternal from the originated." Thus, they strengthened the fundamentals of the religious belief by clear proofs and irrefutable evidence. Abu Muhammad al-Qushayri, may God have mercy on him, said, "He who does not learn the science of God's oneness by one of its evidential proofs will place the foot of deception into the chasm of perdition." By this he meant that he who relies exclusively on blind imitation and is unable to contemplate directly the proofs of God's oneness will stray from the path of salvation and enter the realm of destruction. Upon looking into their words and examining their statements, one will find out that their entire teachings and the quotations thereof confirm that this folk have not failed to realize their goal, nor have they diverged in their quest through any shortcoming. In this section, we shall mention a summary of the statements in which they deal with the problems of the fundamentals of religion. Then, God willing, we shall proceed to lay down in proper order a synopsis of necessary doctrines in a concise and brief manner. I heard Sheikh Abdul Rahman Muhammad bin al-Hussein al-Sulami say, I heard Abdullah bin Musa al-Salami say, I heard Abu Bakr al-Shibli say, the one is known before any definition and before any letters. This is an unequivocal statement from Al-Shibli that the essence of the eternal, praise be to him, has no definition, nor does his speech consist of letters. I heard that Abu Hatim al-Sufi said, I heard Abu Nasr al-Tusi say, someone asked Ruwaym about the first duty that God, may he be great and exalted, imposed upon his creatures. Ruwaym answered, knowledge, because God, may his name be exalted, said, I have not created jinn and mankind except to worship me. Ibn Abbas explained, that is, except to know God. Al-Junayd said, the first act of wisdom required of the servant of God is that each work of art should know its artisan and that each originated thing should know how it came to be. This allows one to distinguish the creature from his creatures and the eternal from the originated thing. As a result, the servant of God submits to his call and acknowledges the necessity of obedience toward him. If, however, one does not know one's owner, one cannot attribute ownership to whom it rightfully belongs. Muhammad bin al-Hussein told me, I heard Muhammad bin Abdullah al-Razi say, I heard Abu al-Tayyib al-Maraghi say, to the intellect belongs argumentative proof, to wisdom allegorical allusion, and to mystical gnosis direct witnessing. The intellect demonstrates, wisdom eludes, and gnosis witnesses directly the fact that the purest acts of worship can only be obtained by the purest belief in God's oneness. Someone asked Al-Junayd about God's oneness. He answered, rendering God one by realizing fully his uniqueness through the perfection of his solitude. That is, that he is one and only, who has not begotten and has not been begotten, who has no opponents, rivals, or likes, without likening him to created things, without asking how he is, without representing him as an image or form. In accordance with the verse, like him there is not, he is the hearing, the seeing. Muhammad bin Ahmad bin Yahya the Sufi told me, Abdullah bin Ali al-Tamimi the Sufi told me, it was said that Abu al-Hussein bin Ali al-Damaghani said, someone asked Abu Bakr al-Zahirabadi about divine gnosis. He answered, gnosis is a name. Its meaning consists in elevating God in the heart in such a way as to prevent you from either stripping him of his attributes or likening him to his creatures. Abu al-Hasan al-Bushanji, may God have mercy on him, said, God's oneness is to know that he is not similar to created essences, yet at the same time not devoid of his attributes. Sheikh Abu Abdurrahman al-Sulami, may God have mercy on him, told us, I heard Muhammad bin Ghalib say, I heard Abu Nasr Ahmad bin Said al-Isfanjani say, Al-Hussein bin Mansur al-Khalaj said, consider everything to be originated in time, that is created, for eternity pertains to him alone. Everything that has appeared in this world as a corporal being is bound with accidents. Everything that is assembled by means of an intermediary is held together by its powers. Everything that is affiliated with the movement of time is one day abandoned by it. Everything that is sustained by someone else is by necessity dependent on it. Everything that is subject to the imagination can be represented as an image. Everything that is contained by a place can be confined by a space. And everything that belongs to a certain category can be grasped by a qualifier. As for God, praise be upon him, he cannot be protected by something above him, nor supported by something below him. He cannot be defined by something that preceded him. No togetherness can appear next to him. No behindness can follow him. No in-frontness can grasp him, no beforeness can prevail over him, no afterness can annihilate him. No term can comprehensively define him, no becoming can add existence onto him, no absence can cause him to disappear. There is no description of him whatsoever. His actions have no cause. His existence has no end. He is far removed from the characteristics of his creatures, nor does he mix with them. His actions require no intermediary. He is distinct from his creatures through his eternity, while they are distinct from his through their origination in time. For this video, we will finish here. We will continue in next video, inshallah. Please don't forget to subscribe. Till then, Allah Hafiz, goodbye. We will meet inshallah in next video.